Guys, we are sitting on 24-inch wheels. We are in a 24-inch wheel market nowadays, which is absolutely crazy. And then you have freaking night vision in this. Night vision is incredible. I mean, I think it should be mandatory when you're paying this much money anyways. We've got a window sticker here, 136,487 Canadian for a 2025 Yukon Denali Ultimate here. It's got a all right, everybody, I've got a 2025 GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate here in Onyx Black. This SUV is fully loaded, so the Ultimate trim gives you pretty much everything. You've got night vision, autonomous driving with Super Cruise technology, adaptive cruise control. You got 24-inch wheels, which we'll get to. Overall, you've got all the options you can want on a fully loaded SUV. Plus, this is a 7-seater. Let's start right here at the front. So one thing I like about the Yukon Denali is you get some brushed aluminum accents on the exterior, but with this being the Ultimate trim, you get a lot more black accents. So let's start right here at the front. So we get LED daytime running lights with your LED lights. We've got your fog lights down below. As we carry over to the center, we've got a slate gray grille, as well as that color carry throughout the GMC badge here. And it does have, if we can zoom in here, it does have the Denali terrain here, as we can see on the GMC logo, which is a really cool feature to have there. You've got a 360 camera, so you got a camera right there at the front. You've got parking sensors with a nice brushed aluminum piece down below. But overall, I do have to say that this vehicle at the front is beautiful. They haven't really changed too much for the new kind of refreshed, redesigned Yukon, but they still have kept it a nice bold look for the GMC brand. That's it really at the front here. Let's take a look underneath the hood and go over the engine option. So taking a look underneath the hood here, we've got the naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 producing 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque with the 10-speed automatic transmission. Love the fact that GM is still keeping the V8s in these SUVs. I think there's still a big demand for V8 engines in today's market. It's got the performance if you need it, it's got the towing capability, and it's got that nice V8 sound, which I still think people absolutely love. So that's underneath the hood here of this Yukon. Let's take a look around it and go over its options. So taking a look around the Yukon Denali Ultimate here, we'll start with the tire and wheel setup. Guys, we are sitting on 24-inch wheels. We are in a 24-inch wheel market nowadays, which is absolutely crazy. The tire size here is 235/40 R24s. I love this kind of matte gray face they have here with some brushed aluminum on the inserts of the wheel. We can see we got the Denali badge there at the bottom of the wheel there. But overall, it looks really nice. You do get that carpeted liner inside, and it does sit on air suspension. As we carry over to the fender here, we've got the Ultimate badge there. We do have a body matched mirror cap with a camera underneath, and then a turn signal light right there. Now here's what the Yukon Denali Ultimate looks like from a side profile view. You can see you've got a nice allotment of some brushed aluminum at the sides of the windows there and at the bottom of the doors. You can see you also got the Denali badge at the bottom of the door. All 4 doors here are keyless entry, which is nice, and they also have some nice chrome around it. Now let's take a look inside the Yukon Denali Ultimate on the passenger side. You do get that power running board that, as you saw, came out. Now over here, we'll start at the top of the seat. You get some nice speakers there at the top. They're Bose Performance Series speakers. You get the Denali Ultimate badge there on top of the seat with the terrain on the top of the seat. Also, as we carry down around the seat, you get a beautiful, nice white piping as well as some white stitching. And it is a woodland mahogany, as they call it. Over here on the side of the seat, you get your seat adjustments with massaging seats. You get the Denali Ultimate badge there on the door sill with the latitude and longitude. And then as you can see at the top here, we get some more of that mahogany with some nice wood trim. Also here on the door panel, we get some nice wood trim with some brown coloring as well as some white stitching, and then a massive Bose speaker there at the bottom. So looks really good here on the passenger side at the front. And then let's take a look at the back. So as you can see, you get that same type of material carried throughout. On the side of the seats, they've got black coloring there, but you do get that white piping and white stitching carried throughout. Tons of room back here, as you can see. You do get TVs back here, which is incredible. So you've got HDMI inputs there at the bottom, as we can see, with your own climate controls, as well as a 120 plug, so you can hook up your PlayStation and play some COD back here. At the bottom here on the door sill, you do get that same door sill at the back here as you do in the front. Denali Ultimate there with the latitude and longitude. And then you can move these seats forward and back, and then obviously they do recline. Over here on the door panel, that same type of material with some wood trim carries throughout here. We get unlock and lock, and then you got some white stitching there with that Bose Performance speaker at the bottom. So the nice thing is that when you open the door all the way, it's almost a 90-degree open angle, so you can access inside the vehicle with a ton of room, which is a nice thing to have. Instead of it just kind of opening till here, you got it over here, so you've got a more better entry point to enter the vehicle. Now here's also a back look at the tire and wheel setup. Same dimensions here at the back as it is on the front, and then it does sit on air suspension with a carpeted liner inside. So overall, the side profile of this Yukon Denali Ultimate looks good. That's it for the side. Let's take a look at the back. So in the back of the Yukon Denali Ultimate here, let's start right here in the center. We can see we've got the Denali badge right there in the center. We've got a dark trim piece there at the top, beautifully C-shaped LED taillights. And at the side of these taillights, you see we've got the GMC badge right there. You've got Yukon on the left, GMC on the right. You've got quad-tipped exhaust tips, which look fantastic. You've got your parking sensors down below. You've got two cameras here. One is for your mirror, for inside, and then the other one is for your backup camera. Now, a couple ways to open up the back here. You can open up this glass by just clicking this button here, and then you're able to access the tailgate just by opening up the glass. Now, another thing that I like that GM does with their SUVs is that they hide the wiper inside this little spoiler here, and it makes it look a lot more cleaner back here instead of having it just planted right here. So that's a really nice thing to add. Now, to open it up, you just push this button here, and the tailgate will open just like this. Now, you get a decent amount of room back here. Obviously, with the XL, you'll get a little bit more room. I do have a seat down so you can see what it looks like, you know, with one seat down. It is a 60-40 split. You do get some storage underneath here, but it is not that deep. Over here, we've got your 120 plug and then your seat adjustments here, so you can move the seats up and down. The middle seats, you can only have them go down, not up. But overall, it's a decent size back here. If you're gonna fit more than maybe 2 or 3 hockey bags, probably wanna opt for the XL. So that's it for the back here, guys. We can push this button here, and then the tailgate will come down just like that. That's it for the back. Let's take a look at the back seats behind the driver. I just want to thank Applewood GM here in Mississauga, Ontario. Go see my boy Zach. He'll hook you up with a great deal. Okay, so hopping into the back here of the Yukon Denali Ultimate, we'll start with the seat. We've got that same type of material carried throughout, which looks good. Seat adjustments are here. Got the Denali badge there on the door sill. Over here on the screen, you can control your climate control, and you've got heated seats as well. 2 USB-Cs and 2 HDMI. So both of you guys can play COD back here, which is incredible. You do get a full panoramic moonroof. You get a handle here to have better access inside the back here. Over onto the door panel, we can see we've got that nice woodland mahogany color with some white stitching at the top. And then also here on the side, you get some nice wood trim there with lock and unlock and your window control, as well as a nice Bose speaker. So overall, it's a nice entry point to get in, and it is definitely a nice comfy back space here. So that's it for the back here. Let's take a look at the front. So taking a look inside the Yukon Denali Ultimate here, we'll start with the seat. We've got 2 speakers there in the headrest. We've got the Ultimate badge there at the top with the terrain there from the Denali. We can see as we carry throughout that seat, we get a really nice plush brown seat with some white stitching and piping. You get your seat controls there with massaging seats. Denali there on the door sill. As we carry over to the door panel, we've got that nice mahogany look to it, wood trim. You got memory seating here on the driver, window and mirror controls here. One thing that I was surprised is you don't get memory seats on the passenger side, which I wish they did add, especially at this price point, but maybe they will add that in the next optioned truck. Over here beside the steering wheel, we've got your light and 4x4 settings here, as well as trailer brake controlling. And then this is a telescopic steering wheel, which we'll get into. But overall, that's it before we hop in, guys. Let's take a look inside. So we are inside the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. We'll start with the steering wheel. It is a nice leather wrapped steering wheel with some white stitching, as we can see. We've got your cruise control technology here on the left with Super Cruise and Forward Collision Alert. On the right here, we'll control your front infotainment screen as well as your screen there. And it does have a heated steering wheel button. So the nice thing is this button here will control your front screen. So I'll show you the settings. So we got that setting there. We do get a map there, which I think looks really nice. We do get this Forward Collision setting there as well. And then you have freaking night vision in this, guys. Night vision is incredible. I've never used it at night, but honestly, to have it in this vehicle, I mean, I think it should be mandatory when you're paying this much money anyways, but you know, you've got it there, and then you can go back to this setting. So you've got a lot of settings there that you can play around with. Bluetooth technology here, as well as your music. This here will monitor your eyes when the Super Cruise is on, so you make sure that's not covered or you're not sleeping. Obviously, on the left side, we've got your toggle for your wipers, and then that is your transmission select. And we already went over things over here. We got a vent here. It does have a heads-up display, as we can see there. At the top here, though, it's not really a soft touch. It kind of feels like a plastic, to be honest, but you do get some storage up at the top, and then we've got some white stitching there. Surprised that they didn't put the white stitching over on the top here, and they did it there. Very interesting design, but overall it is a nice design layout. You do get speakers there on both A-pillars, and then as we carry over to the passenger side, we get that nice wood trim. Now here is your front infotainment. Now the screen is very intuitive. It works really well. Here I have it on 3 different settings. So I've got your map, audio, and then trip information. Now if you hit this home button here, this is where everything kind of comes into play. The truck will park itself if needed. Here are your camera angles, so I hit camera. The camera quality is very good, and then you can kind of play around with whatever camera angle you want. You even have a hitch camera too, so it gives you a bird's eye view when you're backing up. It does have Wi-Fi on it too. Entertainment hub here. You can actually have things on the left and right side of the screen, so it's really interesting. Like you've got tons of stuff here in a screen that you probably would never use. One other cool thing that I like about this screen is obviously you've got heated and ventilated seats, you've got your climate control in it too, but we'll hit this button here. This kind of gives you a display of your things that you maybe want. So you know, you got your night vision there, you can control your brightness there. When we go back here, it's kind of like a hotkey for stuff, so you get your power assisted steps, heads up display, which you can control via that too. Personally, I like this setting here. It gives you a little bit of everything, right? So it's not very confusing. You know, you've got your 5G network there. It's got your notifications. So I just like it. It's got everything that you, like I was saying, you need, right? You click this button here. This gives you your settings, so you can kind of control, you know, your sound, your display, your vehicle stuff. So all that great stuff there, you can control via that button. But overall, I'm not going to go over everything, but it is a very intuitive screen. You can do a bunch of stuff on it. We've got your start and stop button over there on the left. Now these buttons here are to control your climate control. Now as we carry over into the center here, we've got wireless charging, USB and USB-C, and then we've got 2 cup holders there. Now one thing as we move into the center console, so we've got the Denali Ultimate badge there, that same mahogany look with some perforation and then that white stitching. We'll open it up, and as you can see, it doesn't look like a big pocket. However, there's a cool party trick that you can do here. At the top here, you click this arrow back, and this whole thing moves back, so your passengers can have more space to put their cups there and other stuff and touch the screen. You get more storage here, and they give you more storage down there. I think that is a really cool thing that you can do here, especially in this SUV, you know, for more things to add when you're paying this amount of money. And then as we go and click this arrow forward, this here will move back to its positions. Really cool thing that they did there, and then you also get that storage too. Now at the top here, we got your rear camera mirror. I just showed you that cool party trick, and then here are your seat adjustments that you can control the 3rd row seats going up and down. So if I click this button, the seat will go up, and then the seat will also come down. That is a really cool thing to add, especially in this here. I'm happy they did do that. But overall, it's a really nice thing that they've added a lot of features here that you can play around with. You've got your sunshade here that you can open and close, as the full panoramic moonroof can get a little bright, especially with the sun coming down on you. Guys, that's it for the inside here. Now I've got the window sticker right there in that glove box, so let's take a look at that and go over pricing. All right, guys, I've got a window sticker here, 136,487 Canadian for a 2025 Yukon Denali Ultimate here. It's got a ton of options on here, pretty much everything you'd want on an SUV. So that concludes this, guys. Let's go outside and take a look at the vehicle and give you my final thoughts. All right, guys, that concludes my review of the Yukon Denali Ultimate here. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, especially with the overall redesign of the Yukon. I know the price stings. They are getting more expensive, especially with the tariffs that may come into play from the US into Canada, Mexico. I think these trucks are going to get a lot more expensive. So that concludes this review, guys, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.